Listen closely because this is the only video you're gonna need to watch to add an extra 20K a month to your agency. A little bit ago, I was feeling a lot like some of you guys might feel right now in your agency. I was stuck. And I always felt like I knew what I needed to do to hit 50K a month, 100K a month, but I could never do it. And so I've been in this agency game for coming up on like 5 years now. And this time I've scaled my own agency to 100K a month twice. I've scaled 120 different agencies to 10K a month and collected and advised just over $30 million in agency revenue. And it honestly took me a long time to crack the agency game, but when I did, I knew that I would always have the skills, even if I lost everything, to collect $10, $20, $30,000 every month in profit. So in this video, I'm gonna show you guys literally everything that took me from 10K a month to 100K a month, not holding a single thing back. So as always, lock in and let's get to it. So I'm gonna be covering A through Z, how I got a 20 to 25x ROAS on some of my ad campaigns, and if I was going into an industry right now, how I would go and maintain like a 5 to 10x ROAS immediately. So this is the exact phases of testing paid ads that I run whenever I'm going and testing a new offer. Now, phase 1.1 I like to call offer testing. Now, if you already know what offer is working best in your industry right now, I would say like you can skip this. Like in most cases you don't. And like likely you probably just copied someone's offer and you really don't know what's working. And like if you're just copying someone else's offer, like that's not necessarily going to mean you're gonna make like a winning campaign. You know what I mean? The offer is gonna be the most important part. So even if you think you have an offer that's like converting, I would challenge you guys to literally just do this anyways, because it's gonna reinforce if the offer that you're running is actually good or if it's not. An offer could be good, another offer could be better, is my point. So what I would do is I'd go launch one ad set, an open ad set. So that means like targeting nobody, so either open or advantage plus, leaving Facebook to do its thing, and I would test statics. And I'm gonna cover like deeply on like how I would do everything like this in a second. You guys see here, I got like, I'm diving into each kind of phase specifically. I just wanna cover it at a high level first. We're testing statics. The reason why it's statics is basically like, if we're gonna do videos, like there's so many different factors. It's like, how are you talking? What's the editing look like? Where's the background? And so it's hard to make the same exact video 7 times with just a different offer. But in Canva, we can literally make the same exact image over and over and over again and just change the offer. It's gonna look exactly the same, just with a different offer. So first I'd make 5 to 7 images with completely different offers on them, like guarantees, pay per appointment, pay per show, pay per close deal, like stuff like that, and see what the best offer is gonna be to be able to convert on cold traffic. At the end of the day, this is gonna be the most important part almost. If we don't do this, we're not gonna be able to ever have a winning ad. Down here in phase 1.2, we're gonna be test ad creatives, like videos. But like, if their offer isn't good, like you're gonna be capped. You're never gonna be able to have an insane ROAS if your offer is bad. So test 5 to 7 statics. After that, it's phase 1.2 is what I like to call this. And that's just creative and audience testing. So now that we have the offer dialed in, I wanna reiterate and like iterate on the offer, make better creatives and test different audiences across the creatives, see which creatives are hitting where and go from there. So what I like to do is 20 bucks per ad set. Some people like to do more, but when I'm testing something, I would way rather do less ad sets. I can test more targeting options and spend less rather than doing one ad set and spend way more. Now, it's actually the exact opposite at the beginning when it comes to open, because I just want to get as much spend under these statics as possible in the shortest amount of time. Like I said, 20 bucks per ad set. I would do 3 to 5 video creatives. I'll get into like the scripting of these in a sec, but 3 to 5 video creatives off of the offer that we literally just proved. So 3 to 5 hooks, 1 body, and again, I'll get into that in a sec. And what we're gonna do is spend 3 times the KPI and optimize. Let's say our KPI lead cost is 20 bucks. And now you can't just bullshit, oh, I want a $20 lead cost, so I'm gonna spend $60 before making a decision. And I'm gonna go into stop loss and like when to turn stuff off and when to keep stuff on. You have to do the financial modeling of your business to be able to make sense to be like, okay, what can my lead cost be? What can my cost per booked appointment be? What can my cost per acquisition be? And so like based off that, you have to decide what should your lead cost be. So I would spend 3x whatever you think that is prior to actually making a decision when it comes to your ad campaign. Let's say you spend your KPI lead cost, which you think your lead cost should be is 20 bucks. You spend 60 bucks, you have no lead. That's when you can turn off that ad set. So if we're spending 20 bucks per ad set, after 3 days, we're gonna be spending 60. If say one of the ad sets doesn't have a lead, that's when we would turn it off, boom. So at a high level, after that, we do phase 2, which is scaling. We go scale the campaigns. What we do from there is we do a campaign budget optimization, which means instead of setting the budget for the ads at the ad set level, so instead of doing 20 bucks an ad set, we would turn all that off and we would do a campaign budget. So we would set how much we want to spend at the campaign level. We would take all the winning creatives creatives we found, all the winning audiences we found, so whatever we tested, put them in the CBO and spend. To this, we're just being like, hey, Facebook, these were all good creatives, these were all good audiences, go find which ones are the best and go spend as much money on them. This is what should be booking our calls, and this is what we want to be able to, if we can get to that point, we'll be doing like 30K a month minimum. And then after that, I would say once you're like spending like 300 a day, maybe even like 200 a day, we do something called a full marketing cycle, where we add a middle of funnel and a bottom of funnel, which is what like you see like most big businesses do. You probably get retargeted all the time, and I'll kind of get into that at the end of this video. So stage one, like I said, gonna be offer testing. This one's probably the most simple phase, one of the most straightforward ones, but the one you can't fuck up, and if you fuck up, everything else is gonna be cooked. What we're gonna do is we're gonna make the same exact images, and we're gonna have as many minimal variables as we can. If we can have 0 different variables, that's gonna be optimal. Literally, because look, this is an example, established solar pros, and then this is the offer. Only pay per closed job, only pay per appointment. So the only thing I'm changing is the offer. Everything else in the ad stays the same. The colors, the underline, the font size, the font shape, everything. Because we want to isolate every single variable and be like, the only variable we're changing is the offer. So the only reason this creative performs better than this one is because the offer is pay per job instead of pay per appointment. Now, something I want you guys to keep in mind is the offer is also going to bring in the type of person that you're trying to close. Let me know if that makes sense. So only pay per closed job in the solar niche is obviously going to bring in people who want something commission based, where they don't want to spend money up front. This is clearly going to get the cheapest leads, and this is clearly going to get more expensive leads. They're going to be probably more quality. When we're doing this creative testing, I don't want you guys to give a shit about like, what's my cost per lead? Oh, this one with the pay per job is getting the cheapest cost per lead. Of course it is. That's the best offer, quote unquote, the best offer. But it doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to get the best ROAS, because this pay per appointment offer, for example, we're running this offer and it's getting us a higher ROAS than this offer did. Why? Because the quality of appointment is much better. They're willing to spend money up front. They're richer. They know that appointments cost money. They're easier prospects. So when you're doing this, I had dynamic creative here. I don't know why I wrote that when I was writing this down, but we're going to have that one open ad set, like I was talking to you about earlier. We're going to have 5 to 7 different offers, with that one ad set. And when I say 5 to 7 different offers, that means we're just going to have 5 to 7 different creatives. So maybe we're testing only pay per closed job. We're testing only pay per appointment. We're testing 90 appointments in 30 days. We're testing 10 closed jobs in 90 days or you don't pay. We're testing 90 closed jobs in 6 months or you don't pay, and I'll give you 5K for wasting your time. Whatever irresistible offers you think resonate with your niche, we test them, and then we don't dynamic creative them. We split them out, individual ads. And the reason we do this is because, again, we want to make sure we're getting the best quality audience. Which ad and which offer is going to bring in the best lead for the best cost, not which ad is going to bring in the best cost, because cheaper cost per lead is not always good at all. So when it comes to phase one, spend at least $500 minimum, collect data, and best results, double down. Literally make the 7 ads, make the 5 ads, whatever you get the best results with, double down. Don't spend like $50 and change this. Now, this is not gonna make you a shit ton of money, this offer testing. But if you don't do this, you're pretty much fucked, and you're never gonna be able to have good ads in your life in that niche. So I would strongly suggest spending a decent amount of money on it, actually seeing which offer and being confident that specific offer is performing the best. Now, phase 1.2 is going to be creative and audience testing. So now that we tested the offer, we got which offer is going to perform best. We need to test the creative and the audience and see which ones are working, so then we can scale them and start booking a fuck ton of calls for a really good price and make a shit ton of money. First things first, videos are going to be created off the performing offer, obviously, because that's why we just did the last thing. Now this is going to be the structure of video creatives. Number one, pre-qualifier, which is basically going to be you calling out your ideal client. So let's say you want solar pros. Let's say you want, let me just use like tree care companies. I don't know why I just picked this example. So if you're a tree care company doing over 10 jobs a month, that would be an example of a pre-qualifier. Just calling out exactly who you want, exactly where they're at financially. After that, we're going to do a pain statement or a yes-based question. And these are also going to be based off of who you want. So let's say we want a tree care company doing over 10 jobs a month. What is a pain point of somebody there? Maybe let's say they're relying on referrals. Maybe let's say they have an inconsistent lead flow. Maybe let's say they have crews, but they can't fill up their crew's calendar, so their crew doesn't make enough money. We don't want to be calling out pain points and pain statements of somebody who's only doing 1 job a month. We want to make sure that the pain statements that we're saying in the actual ad are targeted towards the qualified audience that we're trying to go after. Because let's think about it like this. If I were to say tree care companies are closing over 10 jobs a month, are you tired of not having enough leads? That's going to be a problem of a tree care company, maybe of someone doing 10 jobs a month. They also have leads, but it would be more of a pain statement and a pain point of somebody doing 0 jobs a month, right? Because because they don't have leads. Let me know if that makes sense, guys. What I would say is like, instead of that, maybe be like, tree care companies closing over 10 jobs a month. Are you tired of not having enough leads to fill up your crew's calendar or something like that? Maybe the verbiage of that doesn't necessarily make sense for a tree care company, so I change it. Tree care companies closing over 10 jobs a month. Are you tired of not being able to fill up your crews with high ticket jobs or something like that? Second would be a yes-based question, which is actually exactly what I did. Are you tired of this? Yes, the answer is yes, of course. So it'd be a question. The same thing would be like, are you tired, or like, do you want qualified appointments for your tree care company completely risk-free or something like that? Next thing is going to be offer, simple. Next thing, social proof, simple. That's just case studies. Last is CTA. Now you can switch offer and social proof. You're going to have pros and cons. The sooner your offer is in the ad, this is like typically always how it'll be, the cheaper your results will be. Because basically the only reason they're clicking their ad is one, because you resonated with them, and two, because of the offer, right? They want the offer. Like, so that's why they're clicking it. If you put social proof prior to the offer, so like an example would be like, tree care companies closing over 10 jobs a month. Do you want completely qualified appointments completely risk-free? I'm going to bring you jobs and you only pay me when you close a deal. That'd be like a pay-per job offer. And I know you're probably thinking, why can I offer something like this? My client John did this. My client Tim did this. So instead, I could do the same exact hook, same exact pre-qualifier and pain statement, and I could just change the offer and social proof and switch them around. The same exact pain statement, like I said, and then right after would go, my client John did this, and because of that, we're able to offer only pay-per-closed job. This is gonna likely increase your cost per lead, but every single lead you get is gonna have higher intent and be like more nurtured because they literally had to watch a case study to be able to click the ad. Then after that, call to action. That's pretty simple. So here, I would do 20 bucks an ad set. I would way rather, like I said, spend less per ad set than do more ad sets and test more audiences than do vice versa. So I would spend 3x KPI minimum on each, like I was talking about earlier. And these are a few ad sets that are winners that I would try. Open, which is completely broad. A+, which is lets Facebook do whatever. Interest stack, which is just like a stack of interest in your niche. So let's say you're in the detailing niche, you just put a bunch of detailing interest. So like auto stuff, like different car brands, like stuff like that. You can do an interest stack of just car brands. You can do an interest stack of just like tint and stuff like that. You can do an interest stack of all of it. So you can test a bunch of different interest stacks. Other than that would be audience pockets. Let's say we're using the detailing niche again. On audience pocket, you could literally just put Lamborghini as one audience. A different audience pocket could be, you just put auto shop, one audience, literally one interest. And what that allows it to do is just gives Facebook some like basically guidance. Some creatives will work with some audiences, some won't work with other audiences. So it's just giving Facebook basically some guidance to be able to find the type of audience you want. Some lookalike audiences, which is basically just like making an audience that behaves a similar way to a different audience that you have. Some winners are lookalike audiences, and if you guys want to learn about lookalike audiences, I have some other videos on my channel about that. And then open is also one that works really, really well. And then when you're doing this, I would do 4 hooks in one body. So when you're making these creatives, what I would do, not 4 different pre-qualifiers and pain statements. Well, yes and no. I would make 4 different pain statements, keep the pre-qualifier the same every time. Oh, tree care companies over 10 jobs a month. Are you tired of not getting more qualified jobs? Whatever. Let's just say that's an example. And then another one would be tree care companies over 10 jobs a month. Do you want more qualified appointments completely risk-free? So that'd be a different one. And then we use the same body for everything else. So the body would be the offer, social proof, and call to action. And then the hook would be considered the pain statement and the pre-qualifier. So we have 4 different hooks, 1 different body, because the body's honestly not that important. The body's super easy. The hard thing is the hooks. Next thing I'm gonna be going over is stop loss guidelines. So when you're testing creatives, when to turn something off, when to keep something on, gonna be pretty simple. So when you're starting out, you always wanna launch with at least 2 different ad set audiences. In this case, we have however many you wanna spend. I would just do 20 per. So for example, it'd be like ad set 1 is at 50 bucks a day, ad set 2 is at 50 bucks a day, but they have the same ads under the ad sets, if that makes sense. So this is when to kill off or adjust the new ad. So let's say you spent 60 bucks and you got no leads. Turn that ad set off, right? The first things you guys wanna look at is how many, what your link CTR is. This is like super complicated stuff, to be honest. At the end of the day, like I hate when people do this. It's like, oh, you have to look at your link CTR, your CPM, how much money you're spending here, this and that. If you aren't producing calls, your ad sucks. That's it. Make a new ad. If you are producing your calls, your ad's good. At the end of the day, like it's all about creative. So basically, if you spend 60 bucks with no leads, the first thing I want you to look at, and this is just gonna be a leading indicator. Again, this does not mean, only important thing is, are you closing clients? Are you booking calls? If you are, don't look at all this data. But if you're not, then you can look at this. Your link CTR to CPM ratio. So you want your link CTR to be anywhere between 1 and 3%, and you want your CPMs to be anywhere between, and your guys' niche is probably like 50 to 100 bucks right now. Your CPM is basically basically how expensive your marketing is, and your link CTR is basically what percentage of people are clicking the link to like your lead form or the link to your funnel that see your ad. So let's say your CPM is 50 bucks. That means that if you spend 50 bucks, you get 1,000 people to see it. So if your CPM is cheaper, it means that you're getting your marketing for cheaper. You're getting more people to see your ad for cheaper. It's likely that the audience you're targeting isn't as quality, which is okay because you're not paying as much for it. But if your CPMs are like 100 bucks, then likely the audience you're getting is more qualified. Let's say maybe they have more money, they're more sophisticated. So if you're paying more money to get in front of eyeballs, you need to have a higher link CTR. So if you're paying 100 bucks to get 1,000 people to see it, you want at least 3 people to be clicking it, 3%. Or you want at least 30 people to be seeing it out of 1,000, apologies. So 3%. And let's say your CPM is 50 bucks, you want 1% of people to be clicking it. I hope this is making sense. I don't know if it is. If these numbers aren't in ratio, that means your creative sucks, because basically not enough people are clicking it. So it's just like, oh, well, I saw the ad and I don't like it, so I'm not gonna click it. So these are the numbers you wanna look out for. If these numbers aren't within KPI, then you need to change your creative. If your link click to lead ratio is wrong, then this is what you need to change. So let's say you're running a lead form or a landing page and these numbers look good. So if your ads are doing shit, first look at these numbers. If those numbers look good, then the second numbers you're gonna go look at is the link click to lead ratio. So link click basically means they clicked the link, duh, what the fuck? So either they clicked on the lead form and saw it, or they clicked on the landing page and saw it. So if you're running a lead form, you want 1 in 4 people to be converting on the lead form. So basically like 1 in 4 people fills out the lead form. So let's say you have 4 link clicks, you want 1 lead. And let's say you're running a landing page, it's gonna be around like 1 in 7/1 in 8. So if you're running a landing page, 1 out of 7 or 1 out of 8. So if you have 7 or 8 link clicks, then 1 out of 7 or 1 out of 8 needs to be converting. Now, again, if that number's not in KPI, then you just need to go make new creative. So it's either change your lead form or landing page or change your ads. But I hope that makes sense. But again, at the end of the day, none of these numbers matter. Just don't even look at them if you're booking calls at a good cost. Now, next, if an ad set has spent 100 bucks with no super qualified lead, then test a new creative. And if an ad set has spent 200 with no book calls, then turn off that ad set, go back, look at the numbers I showed you, and optimize from there. Now, I'm gonna be talking about how to find and diagnose the winners that you find in P2 or P1.2, apologies. So the phase where you're testing creatives, this is how you find winners. Now, first off, I don't give a shit about anything, like I just said, besides cost per offer made. So how much it's costing you to make an offer to somebody, and your cost per acquisition. Like cost per acquisition just meaning how much it's costing you with the paid advertising to be able to land a client. Because at the end of the day, let's say a lead costs $100 and it's every single lead is booking and every single lead has money and they're super qualified. I'm down to pay for that lead. But if my lead cost is $2, they don't even fucking speak English, I don't give a shit. Stop looking at these bullshit vanity metrics. Those metrics are literally just vanity for you to be like, ooh, I'm getting $2 leads, everyone fucking suck it. No, the only metrics that actually matter for your sanity, for your mind, is how much it's costing you to get a qualified prospect on the phone and talk to them, and how much it's costing you to acquire a client. I see people being like, my lead cost is so cheap, why am I not booking calls? Because the leads are awful. You have to understand that literally the marketing message you're putting out, what you put on Facebook, you're gonna get exactly back. If you're saying no upfront fees, pay per close job, you're gonna get someone back. You're gonna get super cheap leads, I guarantee you. Your cost per offer made and your cost per acquisition, the actual metrics that matter, fucking suck. So your ads fucking suck. Anyways, step number 2, let Facebook learn. Stop turning shit off so fast. Stop being so emotional with your ad spend. Look at data like a consultant. Pretend like you're looking at your business like a consultant would. You know, they're just looking at the numbers objectively. They're not like, oh, I only have this much in my bank account, I'm spending this much on ads. We haven't made $1 back. I've spent $600. What do I need to do? Oh shit, I'm gonna turn everything off. This sucks. I need to quit the agency. You know? So you need to be able to look at your business objectively as a business owner and not like it's your own pockets that are spending money. Now, I'm saying this because I used to do this shit all the time, but you need to just let Facebook learn. If you haven't gotten any leads, that's not always an awful thing, because Facebook just hasn't learned where to put the ads yet. And so Facebook is gonna keep testing different pockets, trying to find where to put the ads. And then when it finds that where to put the ads in the little pocket of Facebook and the little pocket of audiences, then it'll start converting. So stop turning shit off so fast, just let shit spend. And then if cost per offer made and cost per acquisition isn't in place, make more hooks in different locations with different editing, because the offer is already proven. So pretty much the only things that can be fucked up in your ads, and I'm not talking about sales at all, I'm just talking about ads, is it's either gonna be your ad creative, your audience, your conversion mechanism, which is basically gonna be your lead form, landing page, so whatever you're using. Literally the only things that you need to have a winning ad creative, like something that gets you a really high ROAS, is we need to get someone to click, we need to convert the click, we need to sell the click. So those are the only fucking things that matter. Now, what we do next is we CBO these things and we scale them. So let's say, keep in mind, phase 1.2 is the hardest phase. Finding the winners that actually fucking work is the hardest phase. Phase 2 is pretty fucking simple. And if you can get to phase 2 successfully, you're gonna be doing 30 to 50K a month every single month without fail. And it's pretty simple. So you're gonna be stuck in phase 1.2 likely for a few weeks. And if you can get past it, you're gonna make a lot of money. So basically we're gonna change the budget optimization from ad set budget, which basically just means we're controlling where all the money is going on the ad sets. We're like, okay, only 20 on this one. We're gonna change that to campaign budget. So let's say we have those 3 audiences. It's gonna be 1, 2, 3. We had 20 bucks on each. They were spending 20 bucks a day on each when it's ad set budget. And so no matter what, Facebook spends 20 bucks. Campaign budget, we don't set how much we're spending a day there. We actually set it on the campaign level. So instead of setting 20 bucks on this one, 20 bucks on this one, 20 bucks on this one, we're just like, hey, Facebook, I want to spend 60 bucks a day on the whole ad set. And Facebook will be like, okay, this one at the top is actually working the best. I'm just gonna put all 60 there. Campaign budget optimization was literally made for scaling ad creative. That's phase 2. Always, and then just something to keep in mind is always, eraser somehow, is always be testing with 20% of the budget, because your winners will fatigue one day. Like basically like there will be ads that's just stop working. And that's like one of the worst things about Facebook ads, because if your ads stop working, let's say you have a closer, let's say you need to pay your fucking rent, your ads stop working, you're fucked. Unless you have reoccurring revenue, which you guys should have in place, you're fucked. I would just make sure I'm always testing new creatives, go back to phase 1.2 and basically be like, okay, I'm gonna just spend 20 bucks testing new creatives, always making new swipe files of creatives. That's gonna help you guys a bunch. I've made a bunch of mistakes like that. If your ads aren't scaling, like they're just not good enough. It doesn't mean that's Facebook's fault. They're not finding the right algorithm. It's just your ads aren't good enough. You need to make better ads. Go back to phase 1.2, humble yourself, and then go scale. And then phase 3 is gonna be the full remarketing cycle. So this full remarketing cycle is meant to drop your CAC. It's not gonna drop your cost per acquisition. I mean your cost per lead. It's not gonna even drop your cost per book call. It's not even gonna drop your cost per offer made. What this is meant to do, so me and you both know that leads from organic content and referrals are gonna have the highest close rate because they know, they like, and they trust you already. The hard part about with cold traffic, selling with paid advertising with a direct response ad, which is what we're doing right here, there's no trust because they literally saw an ad and then they booked a call and then you have to sell them. So close rates are low as fuck. They're like 15% on average. But if we want to increase our close rate with our marketing, then this is what we're going to need to do and build trust and make a lead as warm as physically possible. So this is going to nurture leads like fucking crazy. And like, as a matter of fact, most businesses only, not 70%, 30% comes from top of funnel. This is going to take a little bit to explain, but top of funnel is going to be our scaling campaign, like phase 2, where we just have all those creatives that are like focused on the offer being like only pay per appointment, only pay per appointment, only pay per appointment. And the purpose of that is to bring as many new eyeballs to the business and to the brand. But this is like all the marketing that most of you guys are doing and that most people are doing. But this is actually where only 30% of revenue and profit comes in for most businesses. Because like I said, most people only get like 2 to 3x ROAS on this top of funnel and they're doing it all wrong. So I'd strongly suggest getting this set up after you set up your scaling campaign. So all we do is we set up a remarketing audience. So we basically take everybody who's seen the top of funnel videos, the videos that we're scaling, and at least seen it 15 seconds to 30 seconds, remarket them, so we make a custom audience with proof, so just case studies and value. When they see our ad the next time, they're more likely to convert. But not even that, the people who have become leads, the people who have booked calls and everything like that, they're going to also see the proof. They're also going to see the value that we're providing. This is way stronger than having their phone number or their email list, is having them as a remarketing, as having them as like pixel data that we can remarket. Because we can almost like manufacture organic content. We can just start putting reels in front of their face after they became a lead, after they booked a call. And so like, as you can imagine, like a lot of people don't want to watch the VSL and stuff like that. As you can imagine, this is going to drop our cost per acquisition a lot. This doesn't take a lot of money. It's literally just to make like a bunch of reels. I would say at least like 5, and just put like $3 behind each reel. Because since we're remarketing, we're only targeting the people that have already seen this. So it's not going to be a lot of people, probably only like 5,000 people. So it only takes like $15 a day to like get every single person to see it because it's super fucking cheap. I would just have this middle of funnel up, like not even expecting to see any direct results from it, being like, oh, we're not going to get any leads from it. We're not going to get any book calls from it. The people who do book calls, the people who do become leads, and the people who see your ad but don't convert right now, in 3 months, they might convert. It's going to drop your cost per acquisition literally in fucking half. And this is what it's done for me time and time again. And then next is going to be a bottom of funnel where we remarket these guys, right? So the guys who saw the middle of funnel, who saw the proof, who saw the value, who saw the testimonials, and we remarket them with a call to action again. And so I'm sure you guys have seen this all the time. And it's literally just like, hey, I know you've seen my face before. I know you've seen that we know what we're doing, and you haven't booked a call. Like we have this one-time offer where you only pay per closed deal. Click link below, book a call with me, or remember my team, let's chat about it. So it's the same thing with middle of the funnel, but you just remarket to them again. This is gonna drop your cost per acquisition a bunch. So I appreciate you guys watching. If I'm providing you value, drop a sub below, and I will catch y'all in the next one.